welcome to another TradingWolf video. In this video we're going to be covering over a new feature we've added, which is the DPO trigger blocks. This feature has been added into our smart money script, which you can find up here. So if you go into the settings and in the order block choice, you'll see below the chalk and pivot we now have trigger. I've turned off everything else in the settings just to make it clearer for this video. To give you a simple explanation of the DPO blocks, they're unlike the chalk or pivot in any way, because pivot order blocks are relying purely just on price data. Chalk blocks are relying on a candlestick patterns. These ones are relying on momentum, and we're calculating that momentum based off of our DPO oscillator, which you can find from our premium oscillator script. This is simply trying to find highs and lows in the DPO oscillator and then determine whether we have a move away, determining whether this is a strong candle starting a trend, basically. So we can see we have an order block formed here. This is a short order block. There's another one formed just here, and there's a long one down formed at the bottom. Just zooming in to give you an example, and all of our examples, as always, are just going to be off the latest data off of Bitcoin, just because we don't like to cherry pick examples. We're trying to be as transparent as possible. But you can see we're currently actually coming up into this DPO short block, and we've hit it as a resistance point, and we're consolidating just underneath it. Haven't quite been able to break it yet on the daily time frame, but it's looking interesting at the moment. We've had I'll just minimize that one out of the way. Long block formed down here. It wasn't actually confirmed at this point, so that's why it doesn't think this candle in here counts as a touch. So at the moment, this one thinks that it still needs to be hit. We had a short block formed up here, but we simply closed over that straight away pretty easily. And we've had another long block down here, which hasn't actually been hit either. But if I go down into lower time frames, you can see currently we had another this same sort of block formed on the 4 hour, which we've come up hit exactly again. Nice clean rejection at the moment. Just to show you some more examples down here. If I work backwards, we had a DPO block formed from this move here. So this was a clear. We've had a move down after this rise up. That's a strong order block, but we ended up, I mean, if you're familiar with basic support and resistance concepts, you'll understand that once you break resistance, it flips into support. So here we have a break here, consolidation above the resistance point, which turns into support, tap into it and push away. Another example here. This one never really had a proper push away. If I get the oscillator back though, you'll see the low is not formed in the same place, but using price data, it would have thought the low is here. Instead, the DPO actually sets its low into here. That's why the block is formed off of there. But we never really got a strong push away. But if you have a moving average on this, it thinks that it does have a bit more of a push away than it actually does. But if we go back a little bit more, we've got this example here, which worked perfectly. You can see DPO sets a low, price pushes away, come back down and retest it for a perfect long entry there. And that would have marked the local bottom there if you did enter there. We have had another DPO block formed here, which that one's never been touched. And I'll just go over this one very quickly as well. So this is where the DPO thinks that it started to move, push down, come back up. Nice rejection off of here. Would have been a nice scalping short position. And this is where we lead into forming the long order block. But it's a pretty simple concept. We're just trying to create different options. We had a discussion with one of our clients asking about how you can calculate order blocks. One of them, obviously, well, we went over how we have our order blocks currently calculating off of price data and candlestick patterns. So we went on to the discussion about how you could create one off of momentum instead and see what results we got. And we're actually really quite surprised with the results we got. So that's why we decided to add it to our smart money script. You can see here, like I'm just trying to scan over the previous price data, but you'll be able to add this to your chart if you're one of our members or if you join up for a free trial. But yeah, works on all time frames. We're still very much playing about with it and trying to find the best use cases for it. At the moment, it will just be lining up with Confluence for our other signals. But you can see, I mean, it's another example. This is a DPO short block just on the hourly time frame instead, formed in that same area, but it's just a little bit more accurate. And if I zoom right in here, you can see that's where we've had the rejection from at the moment. Lining that up with divergence plays. Once again, Confluence play here. That would have been a nice short entry to take there. You had the short entry confirmed just a few candles before. Now by default, we just set it so you're going to get an alert once the price instantly hits a block rather than having to wait for a candle close. But to do that, you want to go into more, add alert. You can name it whatever you want. and make sure it stays on any alert function call. Let's be default selected onto this. So I'm just going to go trigger blocks, BTC 1 hour. Then you can choose where you receive your alerts as well. So you can choose whether you get webhooks, emails, so on. But yeah, that is it. Create alert, continue anyway. And you'll receive an alert anytime one of our trigger blocks gets hit on that particular asset and time frame. So that is it for this quick overview. If you have any questions, you can contact us in our Discord group, or you can also message in our tool suggestion channel there and offer suggestions or things you'd like to be added to the script. If we don't think it's worth adding to our script, we may end up making it anyway and just offer it out as a free script. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.
Bust this.